The name Will Steger now stands listed among the great explorers of the world. The National Geographic Society ranks Steger with aviation's Amelia Earhart, polar exploration's Robert Peary and Roald Amundsen, and the ocean's Jacques Cousteau, and has named him its first explorer in residence. Discovery began early for Will. At the age of 15, he took a motorboat from Minneapolis, Minnesota, down the Mississippi River to New Orleans. A quarter of a century later, after putting up numerous first descents of mountains around the world, Will turned his attention to his first love, the frozen polar ice. He led the first confirmed journey to the North Pole by dog sled without resupply. 3 years later, he led the first dog sled traverse of the continent of Antarctica. The International Trans-Antarctica Expedition was a torturous 3,471 miles in 7 months. 5 years after that, Will led the International Arctic Project, a 1,200-mile first-ever crossing of the Arctic Ocean from Russia to Ellesmere Island in Canada. In 2004, he led a 6-member team on the Arctic Transect, a 3,000-mile, 7-month educational expedition of Nunavut, Canada. And Will continued his educational effort with his Global Warming 101 expedition in Baffin Island above the Arctic Circle. His team included 3 Inuit members, Sir Richard Branson, and 6-time Everest summiter Ed Viesturs. As Will Steger matured, the dreams of being the first to summit or the first to raise a flag on a piece of terra incognita became less important. As Will saw more, listened to the stories of remote, nearly forgotten people, he was seized with an urgent calling to tell their stories. And when the Larsen Ice Shelf of Antarctica, a giant mass of ice that took him 3 weeks to cross in 1989, crumbled and then disappeared, not only did the maps of Antarctica change, but so did Will. The Earth he knew was changing, and the science made it clear why. Will threw himself into the study of the causes of global warming, the science of the atmosphere, and the human story of those people who would be the first to suffer.
My name is Theo Ikumak. If I look at the youth that we have today, their future is quite bleak with their association with the environment as it is right now. Looking at our 10-year-olds, if they get to be my age, is the ice going to be there? Maybe not. Are the glaciers going to be here? Maybe not. Their way of life will be so different in that Inuit culture will have to be rewritten down the road.
Will knew that what was happening on Antarctica was happening above the Arctic Circle, and he knew that he had met and traveled to the north with the very people who were now the canaries in the coal mine. From his home north of Ely, Minnesota, an off-the-grid home employing both the latest technologies of energy efficiency and some of the oldest, his deep freeze comes in the form of ice blocks stored underground in sawdust throughout the summer. Each winter, friends join him on the ice to cut the blocks for the summer in the same way people of the north had been doing since the days before the modern convenience of an electric freezer. Here Will designed what can only be described as a castle, not for him, but for the future. For 17 years, Will has been using his own money to create a haven on a remote lake deep in the North Woods, where thinkers and policymakers could meet, where problems of man's effect on nature could be solved in the bosom of nature herself. The second step was to create a foundation for the education of all Americans, particularly the young, on the facts behind global climate change. Will Steger.
The young people, I look at them, first of all, personally as very innocent. They're sophisticated and so forth. And they have a lot more tools that we did not have at that age group. But I look at them as innocent, and I see what's coming to them. And I actually kind of feel sorry for them. I really have a compassion for them. And I know that they can make the difference. So I have a investment in my heart in that generation. And I also feel very close to that generation on a peer-to-peer level.
Steger now divides his time between life in the Twin Cities, raising money and awareness, testifying before various House and Senate committees on global warming, attending to the work of the foundation, and planning new expeditions that will shed light on the effects of global warming. Nicole Rahm runs the foundation's office.
The Will Steger Foundation office is located in the Phillips Eco Enterprise Center, which is located in the Phillips neighborhood, really close to downtown Minneapolis. It's a green building. It was recognized as one of the top 10 green buildings in America in 2000. It's the first green building that was built in the Twin Cities. The entire property is surrounded by prairie habitat and rain gardens. The parking lot is built so that it minimizes groundwater pollution, and it collects a lot of that water into rain barrels as well. Holds the solar panel roof.
Nicole helped organize the Baffin Island crossing.
Above all, this expedition was really unique and really special in that it spent time building and sharing the Inuit voice and the cultural perspective, which you don't often hear. Oftentimes it's very heavy scientifically focused, or it's about accomplishing the first, and this one chose to be different. It chose to focus on the personal face, because the real part that connects with people here, I think that gets them motivated, is when you can connect people to people and you can really share that story that global warming is happening. It's now, it's present, it's real, and it's affecting people that are essentially our brothers and sisters, even if they live in the far north or, in Africa or wherever they may be.
There are three moving parts in Will's vision: the Internet outreach to schools, the expeditions to vividly portray the lands and people affected by global warming, and that castle in the wilderness, Will's think tank.
Yeah, the think tank, my dream in here is very simple, is that I want to connect to the people that make the decisions. I feel to make a big effect in this world with my energy, the biggest thing I could do is to bring together decision makers. It could be in business, it could be in ethanol, wind, but for myself it would be concerning education and environment. You go into this natural setting. I have the utmost faith in this setting. Nature always wins, always brought groups together. So I have the utmost faith that if you get people here in a natural setting, throw them in the sauna, first night, have them sleep, feed them organic, good food, and get the spirit and the energy going, and you create that energy, then the real inspiration comes out.
It would have been easy enough for a man like Will Steger to settle back and watch his dream become a reality. But there is much more on Steger's teaching and expedition drawing board.
Coming up, we've got Will kite skiing across Antarctica and traveling across Greenland in the future years. All of these will really focus at the core on global warming, what's happening, what has happened, and what is at stake in the future.
But it takes money to mount such an ambitious effort.
The majority of our support comes from individual donors who either hear Will at an event or have seen him at a church or have been a longtime friend or supporter. His vision, a way to channel his vision, really connects with people, and his passion and motivation and just changing his life to really put a lot of his energy and efforts into the foundation really connects with people. Going forward, I'm really excited to look at future opportunities for sponsorships and, more importantly, tax-deductible donations. We are a 501c3, and I think there's a lot of opportunity for us to work with companies that are here locally in Minnesota. Will was born and raised in Minnesota and really can represent a lot of the values and connections to companies that are based here, to whether it be outdoor-related companies or companies that are related to environmental causes. There's a whole host of relationships that we're looking to connect with.
I do think that part of our mission and the foundation, of course, would be to make sure that the policies are adhered to through education and involvement. It all has to do with social engagement. If we're more socially engaged, we're going to be in really good shape. Because the time is crucial, absolutely crucial. We can't even wait anymore. We're way behind schedule. We used to say we had 10 years. We don't have 10 years anymore. We got to move right now.